Cleveland faithful, welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. Today, I have a very special guest with me. He played in the MLB for 24 seasons. He won 11 Gold Gloves. Among shortstops, he is tied for the highest fielding percentage of all time. He is the all-time leader in games played and the all-time leader in double plays turned. He posted a career .272 batting average with 2,877 hits, 951 RBIs, and 1,445 runs scored. A Cleveland baseball legend, Mr. Omar Vizquel. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Hello, Jeff. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. What I want to start with this. Obviously, this is a Cleveland show. I want to talk about your time in Cleveland. Over 1,400 games played. What does the city of Cleveland mean to you and just how it shaped your career and your life after baseball?
Man, I think Cleveland was the one that made a name for me. Even though that I started with the Seattle Mariners in '89, I got involved in the trade on '94 when the Jake was opening. And I think that gave me a window of, showing my game and what I can do. I was developing into a hitter. I started switch hitting late in my career. And when I got to Cleveland and I got the help of Carlos Baerga, Kenny Lofton, and the guys that were in the lineup, I think it really made a difference for my game, and I established myself as a good shortstop in the game. The opportunity that we have to be in the playoff games and World Series, I think it really exposed what we can do on the field. I play a long time. I play 24 years in the Major League, but I think being those 11 years in the best time of my career in Cleveland really make an impact in my life and also on a lot of people that we used to go and do clinics. The fact that we did a lot of activities outside the field, off the field, it was really important to me. And I think, as right now, as I retire now, Cleveland is a team that I like to follow, that I like to see everything that happened there, and the excitement that team brings to the city is just amazing. I was so lucky that I was involved in that.
Let's maybe keep going with that. What were your thoughts about this most recent season for the Cleveland Guardians? ALCS didn't turn out how they wanted to, but kind of shocked the world with a lot of their performances. I don't think a lot of people thought that they were going to be in that position. And, with a rookie manager and Stephen Vogt, it was pretty impressive. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
It was great, man. I was so excited to see how things turn out in Cleveland. A team that maybe people didn't expect it to go as far as they did. With the new manager, like you said, Stephen they did a great job with the guys. And the pitching staff that was kind of like a question mark. They control it very well. The bullpen was amazing. And they were able to, stick around and make it to almost to the World Series. If they could have beat the Yankees, and anything would have happened there. So I think that we have to feel really proud the way they play, and how they take the field and what they brings to Cleveland this year.
Who's your favorite guy, individual player to follow on this roster? Is it Jose? Is it Rocchio at shortstop, or just is it the whole team in general?
Well, I think the double play combination of Jimenez and Rocchio was so good this year. I was, I had some few interviews and I mentioned them all the time because he finally remind me a combination of Vizquel and Alomar up the middle.
Yep.
A lot of things on them that remind me, the way that we play the game together. Jimenez, the abilities that he has, silver glove in the position in second base is amazing. And I said that I could compare Jimenez with Alomar right now. At how young he is and the things that he does in the field is amazing. And now he found a partner that is from the same country, from Venezuela, and Rocchio, who shows that he can play there, that he can be a solid Gold Glove in that position. And that combination was amazing to see this year.
Yeah, it's nice seeing another Venezuelan shortstop for a baseball team in Cleveland. So that was always nice. What impressed me about Rocchio is that they say the postseason it's a different ball game. It's a start of a new season, and he really took that to his advantage. I think he had a really good, hitting performance in the postseason, and he played really good baseball for the most part in this postseason for the Cleveland Guardians. Talking about double plays, I just want to get your reaction really quick. I have a video for you here. I'm going to take you back all the way to May 31st of 1996. It's an iconic Cleveland Indians play. It was almost a double play, but I want to hear your reaction to if you saw this play live, if you were in the dugout, what the reaction was from the team.
There it is, Vina. Oh, this is just like the play in the third inning. And it was Albert Bell back in the third inning. This time he lays it on Vina even more so.
What does that moment stand out in your mind as far as how you remember it?
Yeah, it was a tough moment. You don't want to see a second baseman on a shortstop get hurt on a play like that. But in this situation, Albert was going straight to second base, and Vina fielded a ground ball right in his way, his path. It wasn't like Albert get out of the way to do that. It was just a matter of, okay, you're right on my way. I'm coming through, and I found you on the way. It's just, things that happen in the game. I think right now, Major League Baseball has put some rules in regulations in place where you avoid this kind of situations sometime. And,
right.
I'm glad because I got hurt a couple times on double plays like that, guys sliding over the bag. And, sometimes you see that it's illegal doing that. But, in this situation, I think it was just a matter of Vina being on Albert's way.
What was the culture in the clubhouse like in those mid 90s rosters? Like you said, you mentioned a bunch of people that you played with, whether it's Kenny Lofton, Albert Bell, Baerga, anybody from that era. What was the sense year in and year out with you guys as far as approaching every game, every day, every week, every month of the season?
Well, we go through different periods. I think we were fortunate to play with guys that love the game itself. Guys like Eddie Murray, Dave Winfield, Dennis Martinez, Otto Herchizer. Those four guys were our idols. We kind of look up to them. Tony Pena was another guy that was around for a long time. And the fact that we have all those veteran guys in the clubhouse, we didn't go through long slumps, because these guys were able to come out with ideas and way to play the game and keep everybody going, everybody in focus on the things that we have to do to stay together. And that kind of like went around for a lot of years. I think that we took over that, and the guys were leaving, and we stay with that mentality of leadership from these guys. So there were different years, different eras, but I think that having those guys around are very important. Right now it's kind of hard to find guys like that. You have a bunch of rookie guys or young guys that are hungry for baseball, but sometimes you need those veteran guys to lead you into the right directions, and I think that's why we were so fortunate to have those guys.
Yeah, the veteran leadership really helps out. And yeah, this current Guardians team is young. Stephen Vogt, young manager. So maybe that's some words of wisdom there for this offseason. I know that they have some pieces somewhere. You got Austin Hedges behind the dish, and you have some people who have been around the block a little bit, but I like that. What I'm going to show you another clip here. It's a clip of yourself. I believe this is at the All-Star game in Cleveland a couple of years ago. I could be wrong, but it's you. Someone was just recording you on their phone, just playing catch with somebody. And I've always been kind of mesmerized by this clip.
Like riding a bike, bro. You don't forget how to do that. You've been doing that since you were 4.
So when people look at that and then they say, oh, Omar Vizquel has, the most double plays turned, in the history of the league. It's not too much of a surprise when your hands are that quick. How many times do you think that you've done that motion, ball to hand out of the glove in your life? You think you've done it over 1 million times, 5 million times?
Wow, it's hard to put a number, on the times that you do this because you take ground balls every day, you play catch every day, for a long time. But I think this skill developed when you're young. Everything started when you take the field and you take batting practice and you start kind of improving your skills. I tell kids nowadays to do this drill with the wall when you kind of bounce the ball like that off your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then started with your glove and then you start develop after that. So these are different drills that make the hands quick. The hand coordination is very important when you play in the middle infielders, and there is so many drills that can help you to get to that point. But this is that video was late. I was already coaching. I was retired already.
Yep.
It is cool that I still remember. It's hard to forget things like that, and people really get a kick out of that when they see that video. But we do it every day, and it is important to keep the fundamentals of the game good. I think sometimes you want to show up a little bit, and I think it's better to kind of like go into the right fundamentals first, and then try to do stuff like that on the field.
I was listening to one of your interviews. I think it was like 14 or 15 years ago. The interview was last night, and you were talking about how growing up in Venezuela, the fields and the infields aren't even. You play in some abnormal conditions, or it's not as polished as when you came over to the major leagues, which I think is something that a lot of people around the world and a lot of people who like the game can identify as, where you're kind of a product of your environment and your surroundings. And you made it sound like that helped you a lot as far as coming over to the major leagues, when you got a bad hop, it didn't bother you as much as some other guys, and just stuff like that. Is there anything from growing up playing the game in Venezuela that really stands out to you, at this current day?
Yeah, I think everything. When we go play in the field here, it's not like a field that you can consider a good condition. There's gonna be a lot of things on the way, a lot of rocks and stuff like that. That's where I grew up, in a baseball field close to my house, where you find rocks and holes everywhere. So you have to be aware of those bad hops. And I think that created some kind of alert, to me when I was fielding ground balls, and that eye coordination that we were talking about kind of like developed young in my career. When I was 12 years old, I was already getting like the best infielder of the league, because I was playing on those kind of fields. And I didn't mind, we played there a lot. Sometimes we got bruises on our face, and the ball never hit my eye, which is really important. But I was
That's good.
never afraid to field ground ball. And I think sometimes you see kids that they get afraid because the ball hit them in their eye, and they start moving to the outfield because they don't want to get hit in the face. But I think that if you go through that process young, and you are able to overcome that fear that the ball is going to hit you, I think you're going to be okay.
What would you say your favorite part of playing the position was? Being a former shortstop myself, my favorite was always the bare hand play. Like if I had to go in, if I had to charge the play, or if I was even maybe taking a few steps backwards, I always thought the bare hand play was, even watching it on TV today, I think it's the most exciting play for me to watch. What was your favorite aspect of playing shortstop?
Yeah, and I think the bare hand play was one of those plays that I made often. And we go back to when we were young. Sometimes we play with no glove, and we have to field the ball barehanded. It's not a play that a shortstop made a lot. I
Right.
think that don't have more chance because of the bunt or slow rollers and stuff like that. But I did it often. I took it into my game. I even saved a no hitter with a bare hand ball. And it was kind of funny because the people said that I didn't need it to field that ball barehanded, but I was 100% sure that I was gonna make that play with the bare hand, and the no hitter turned out. But I think what I like the most is that you are involved in most of the plays that happen in the middle of the field,
Mhm.
and constantly participating in the game. So that's what I like about play the position. I know that you have to be one of the best athletes on the team, that you have to be able to go left and right, back and forth, and try to make the play.
Yep.
And it's a challenging position, and I think that's what I like it so much.
Absolutely. You got to be the captain of the infield too at a lot of junctures. So I got one more question for you here, Omar. I've really appreciated your time this morning. This has been great. I don't think people who are huge baseball fans or maybe baseball isn't their first sport they watch, but they like the other Cleveland sports. I'm not sure people understand about how much failing you have to do in baseball. I always explain to people the best guys, the elite baseball players, at the plate, they fail 7 out of 10 times. You get a 300, batting average, and that's elite. You have to be able to deal with adversity, deal with failure. If you're a baseball player, if you're out in the field, if you make an error, you can't let that haunt you the rest of the game. And you have to be able to have good mental clarity as far as, moving forward with the next pitch, with the next ground ball, with the next play. So what do you think failure in baseball taught you for your post career and just general off the field stuff, just in your life? What do you think failing in baseball taught you the most?
I think it made me feel a little bit more patient and understandable of situations. You're gonna go through a bad period of time. Not everything is gonna be great. You're talking about struggles. Sometimes you can go 0 for 25 and not be able to hit the ball,
Right.
and sometimes you go up to the play and you feel like you're hitting a soccer ball.
Hmm.
So these things are able to kind of like keep you in balance. Uh, um, Prepare mentally. The mental toughness of the game is something that people don't talk too much about, but it's something that we have to deal every day because we go through these periods of time. I was the kind of guy that I knew that I could hit the ball. You have to stay positive, and the things are gonna come your way. But when I make an error, it was so tough for me. I even took that worse than going over 25. I make an error and I was mad for a week because I didn't want to make that error. I know that my strength was the defense, and sometimes it's hard to separate it. Sometimes you on the field, you make an error and you're mad and you take that into the home plate and then you end up striking out. So it is important to separate the offense from defense, because sometimes you can make a difference making a great play, even though that you're not hitting the ball, but you are there because you are the shortstop, and they counting on you to make those plays, and vice versa. Sometimes you're not doing very good fielding because we go through those times, but you can get a base hit to win the game, or to get a very important run in the game, and then you end up winning the game. So those two things we have to be able to separate. And when you go along in your career, you try to understand that balance that goes along both ways.
Absolutely. Well, Omar, I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me here today. Guys, if you're still watching the video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. But with that being said, we appreciate you being the pulse of it all.